one of 3 maps that we haven't actually seen yet in APAC South, in the first 2 play days at least. The other 2 being Consulate and Coastline, but Villa personally is one of my favorite maps, if not my favorite competitive map. And these 2 teams have had battles on it before. I'm thinking this is going to be quite an exciting matchup.
Oh, early, big. Iana out. Now, any particular reason here, Raven, we're seeing this?
From memory, and again, this is a little bit anecdotal, but from memory, the Knights have been playing quite a bit of Iana. And just in general, Iana has just really risen to power, in particular, this stage. You know, she is a very effective operator for intel gathering with her Gemini ability, but also the ability to bring frag grenades and the Gon 6, as well as some good primary weapons. She is really a strong tool, so I think sometimes banning her out can be pretty effective.
Yeah. Especially if we do tend to lean into that sort of play style. I mean, the Gon 6, I feel like we haven't seen a lot of recently, at least in OCN. I think I saw it maybe a handful of times being used to full effect, but hopefully we'll get some of that point of view action today. Kaid and Mira, the last to be banned out here. Now, both of these teams have extremely rich history. If you were here for the analyst segment, you would have heard them talking about it time and time again. It has really been back and forth a lot. Currently, it sits at 4 wins for the Knights and 4 wins for what was the older Kami now Order, but they actually have taken a lead with their OCN victory just across the week. So this one is set to be quite close, I would dare say. Zero getting a little bit of play? No, damn it, I got baited so hard.
Would have been exciting. I want to see more Zero. It's really cool. I've seen a few teams utilize him in some really unique ways. It's exciting to see, but not going to be here. And to go back to what you're talking about, Manic, with the history between these 2 teams, you know, they really have always been the filler in the top 3 of the Oceanic region for a lot of 2020 in particular, where they were always trying to battle to be the top team against wildcards, so therefore they were battling each other to get to that situation. You would have seen a selection of these guys throughout the majors last year, August and November, so they do have like quite a deep rivalry, and we know that that is relatively fierce. Both of them ruthlessly and competitively, of course, want to best the other team. There is no love lost between these two.
Not at all. Not at all. And it is obviously a really great talking point because, you know, coming into it, a fierce rivalry obviously sets the expectations that it could be a close match, but also recent history says that it could be as well. Now, a lot of the conversation in the pregame has been about APAC South's, Knights' performance in APAC South. And look, if we're going to go off of what they've been able to bring to the table here, I don't know whether Order are going to stand even close to what I would assume right now has been the Giants. So we'll wait and see what that performance is really going to look like. But obviously AVG is where we're starting from. Looks like somewhat of a study early emphasis here from the Knights, but whether they decide to stick it, we'll wait and see.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, it looks like they are keen. Oh my god, speaking of keen, QT on a keen start finish there. He's going to take out Hayward. Very big pick, early entry from the sledge down there in the Art Pottery room. It's going to be thwarted. That's going to put the Knights on the back foot immediately with the Manic. And QT utilizing that Valkyrie, no doubt, probably getting that extra info to facilitate the aggressive play.
Patience being quite the virtue here. Juicy obviously needing to be careful of that line all the way back from Volt, as well as Cutie playing a little bit cheekily there. Really like that. The use of the smoke has allowed them to push in deep. Juicy catches Joker off with a smoke babe in hand. That's a really big start, and that is how you want to see the Knights bounce back here, Raven. They've got control of Study, and of course Classic as well. This is looking dangerous for Order.
That really just felt like a bit of a thumb war there, Manic. You know, like one person goes hard at the start, so the Knights were like, all right, you want to go hard? We'll go there too. And they've just brought this to be this 2v4 scenario. Order just against the ropes early in round 1. Still over a minute to go for the Knights in this round. It's a great position for them to be in.
Really like this from Order though. Stick together and maybe you'll be able to find 1, maybe 2 picks here, but you really need your teammate alive there, Specker. This is a near impossible task to bring it back, but if you hit some pretty crisp shots like that, who knows, that might have just saved him. That air jab, and he actually, that aim was almost directly on Sage there. I dare say maybe not in the 1v4, but he certainly gives it his best attempt there, Specker, and now puts Knights in the prime position.
Yeah, look, it really was a great effort from Specker in the 1v4. He brought it back to be the 1v2. Very close to that shot, as you said. You could hear the bullet ricochet off the door frame and just didn't quite eventuate. Overall, that was, I think, such a telling round for how these two teams both like to play, and especially against each other. Order starting off with that early pick from QD, very aggressive based on the info of Valkyrie. But then Knights just stepped it up. They got so aggressive at the top of Brown Stairs, clearing that smoke player from behind the shield. And then it just continued to snowball. So I feel like this match is really going to be that tug of war of the aggression, who's getting these entry picks.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
It's one thing that has always scared me about the Knights and watching them play is the fact that they can be slow and methodical. They can be so similar to what we've seen the old wild card to be, but then, you know, on the flick of a switch, they're more than happy to go for aggressive peaks and look for their ones. And you can see there, obviously, Joker getting caught out at the top of Classical, just not really prepared for that much of a push to come in. I believe it was from the ace, which should have been juicy back then. But regardless, we can move on now, and we can set our expectations high for what is round number 2. Certainly the start that you'd be hoping for if you're Knights. Order really hoping that that does not catch them unaware. But let's just wait and see. Let's hold on to hope here, because this is sure to be an interesting one. As long as Knights can hold on to that early lead, Order are going to be sweating really early here.
Very vertical presence for Order as well. They dedicated a lot of resources. I've counted 3, maybe 4 reinforcements dedicated to sheets and dining and that kind of thing. And they've got this pulse as well. They're clearly going to be playing from below, because why wouldn't you? So the Knights are going to have to be careful. They're looking to take this early bedroom control, which is really where the danger zone has been set up by Order. But they aren't aware of this pulse, or aren't aware that Order are really leaning into that tactic. They're going to have to be very careful of an onslaught of C4s. QD as well, you can see him on that Valkyrie again. Going to have a C4 in the pocket and the extra info to facilitate these kinds of plays that Order are looking for.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So Dino at the moment taking early closet control. Like you said, the issue is not necessarily the horizontal as it is the vertical pressure that will be coming from Joker here. Specker may well come and join and start to give a little bit more information. Don't know if that was a C4, it didn't sound like it, so still one down blue. That's a really nice nade, and QD just manages to really tickle the foot there. Just a tiny piece of shrapnel flying from that nade. But Knights are taking decent control until that. That's a pretty pivotal kill from Mitby style to open things up again here for Order.
C4 deployed.
Started very strongly. That C4 though is going to miss the mark, and now it's finally been equalized. Hayward a little bit more successful in this round at least, but Order answered back with 2 of their own Manic, and now it's a 4v2, and oh my god, it is just an absolute onslaught. The Knights have not been able to gain any meaningful progress outside of this bedroom bathroom, and Specker closes it out for Order, and like that, Manic, Order get the round.
Wow, that is really nice to see. I mean, most of those kills came off of camera then, so we're not completely aware of where they were, but regardless, Order have well and truly responded, and it is concerning for Knights. You know, granted it's one round very early on, but Order is the team that if you give them time and energy to build on, they will 100% continue to do so. You can see there in the confidence of those players. Knights just need to be cautious here. We do head back to AVG for Order though, and wonder how impactful this Valk is going to be for QD. It's a lot of intel to be able to gain, but they just can't lose those players early, Raven.
Definitely true, and I felt like that was what kind of started it in a funny way. Around 1 million of opening, it seemed like that was really what lit a spark for the Knights to get more aggressive in that early phase of the round. So I feel like for Order, that's not to say don't go for the early pick. Of course you're going to take the opportunity if it's there, but they're just going to have to be ready for the Knights to be able to match their pace, which is something that Order can get away with against a lot of teams in the past. That they see these opportunities and they just go for it. And sometimes that just is so quick and fast, some teams fail to adapt it won't work with the Knights. There's just
Yep.
going to be this continuous adaptation of this pace and just trying to stay in front with these entry picks.
Attackers are moving
Most
out
of
to
your rounds
locate
it's
a bomb.
been in Order's favour.
Certainly has. A game of chess when it comes to the Knights, and I mean, if we're looking at raw mechanics here, and you know, in that kind of play style, if that's the way that this game goes, you know, I definitely still am favouring Order of this one. So we'll keep our eyes peeled. Knights are more than happy to take things slow though, and I think that you'll see that particularly on the attack. Even though it seems like these rounds have actually been going pretty quickly, Raven, which surprises me to say the very least. Maybe things will change, maybe things will get a little bit lighter here. Dino just looking for the back end of Joker.
Joker, you have to be very careful as well because his head is so
Attackers
close
have located a
to one
bomb.
of those beams. But I'm very surprised. You know, the Knights, they're just sticking to their plan. Like it's going to go straight through study. You know, maybe that's not a bad thing. It worked last time, so why not keep it similar? But it looks like they've adapted to an extent here. Keep trying to get aggressive. That AVM doorway. It's really not going to be an easy or comfortable entrance here.
Oh,
Cutie goes bang. That is juicy. Good night and out of the server. And that's the ace on the board.
Now, we're not going to make one small mistake like this and bat on it too much, but Juicy missing that barbed wire on that second swing has actually allowed Cutie to get into position. Another huge point to make right now. Only 5 drones that remain here. 3 that can actually be moved in their current position from
Attackers
Knights.
recovered the bomb diffuser.
So information's going to slowly but surely wither away there. Nice pick from Hayward though. That's the big one they're looking for. Really well traded from Itby. And they get away scot-free as well. Sage is quite low.
Yeah, not too great there.
Attackers have dropped the bomb
again
diffuser.
have just stepped it up, and all of a sudden Sage is the lone soldier for the Knights. He's got 4 order to find, 50 seconds on the board. It's going to be a very tricky attempt from him. This is not going to be a comfortable sight to get through. He sees the face of Specker. Makes it a little bit easier on himself now.
Just a little bit. Surely not enough to alleviate all that pressure. Just trying to find some individual lines here, but Order are just playing so passively. There is no way Sage wins this battle against what I assume to be Joker tucked away in the corner there. And this is the Order that we need to see when it comes to APAC South. This is the presence that we need to see from them. Well read from Sage, but still 2 kills to find here, Raven, and it's just not doable. It's not achievable, but a second round on the board for Order is.
Some good adaptation from Order there. That roam really working out successful to be able to trade the kills. So it's a bit of a dub for Order to bring that one back. The Knights are just going to have to be careful not to be left sleeping or caught sleeping on Order because they will change things relatively dramatic. They are a very fluid team in their play style. They play with an essence of structure, but it's really not quite like that because they'll be structured until they see an opportunity and then everything really changes. It can be really tricky to deal with, especially on a map like Villa.
Definitely entangle you. So far from, I mean, certainly in that round, by the minute mark, as
Attackers
in,
need
you
to
know, 2
locate
minutes
and
off the
defuse
board, there's
bomb.
only a minute left to go. And Knights have pretty much found themselves in a 1 versus 4, and I don't have the exact information for the last 2 rounds prior to that, but it does seem like these rounds are coming to a head in kind of the phase 2, you know, the 2 to 3 minute mark is when we're seeing a lot of the action take place, and right now Knights just have not been able to find that look in, find that key in the past 2 rounds. Order have looked incredibly strong and incredibly comfortable, which again are just warning signs, but
10 seconds
as you
left.
said,
Being activated.
it is early days and
5
Knights
seconds.
are highly adaptable in these situations.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a
I'd
bomb.
say it's a red flag, but just something that I'm concerned about at the moment is one of the Knights' most effective players in stage 1, both in APAC South and the Oceanic Nationals, has been Dino. The second highest rated player in APAC South, and I know in OCN he's been having some really big games. At the moment he hasn't found a kill on the server, and he's been playing Ash, so you would feel like it's a bit of a complicated game. money, or it's a position that he should be excelling on based on his form. And with him not getting in the game, maybe that's just an area in the roles of the Knights right now. That because that's not working out, there's some other things that are falling apart.
Of course, I don't think we really mentioned it too much, but the kitchen is where we are now, finding ourselves after 2 straight wins on the board for Order. First Stat, then AVG, and Hayward with a pretty early line, all things considered, straight through sheets there. And what? Oh, Jack Daddy, was that from above? No. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Okay. Really well played.
Yeah,
nice little
beautiful.
line to find.
Yeah, beautiful angle. I love that angle. Definitely a staple to be opened, and this is something that's just been happening to Knights. You know, almost every round is it's a really sloppy entry. They've been losing these opening picks every round. That is now 4 from 4 in favor of Order. On top of that, Hayward, he just completely died solo. Like, was there a drone that came through? Where was he going? Not really sure what's happening on the part of Knights, but we would definitely expect for some tidier entry there. A solid team, usually with that kind of thing. So it's definitely putting them on the back foot right now.
Again, not to, highlight drone economy, but down to the minute 30 mark, and there were already 6 drones gone, but that is what we needed to see. Dino deleting them from the server. It allows Juicy to push in, and there are no trades, or not enough trades, I should say. But Ippy Style was looking for the miracle, the Hail Mary, but Knights just collapse, and Order can't deal with it.
Like that, we talked about Dino on the 0. He gets an explosive 3k, and the Knights get their first round since round 1. And I feel like maybe it was what was really needed, is just Dino to step up, get into the zone, and just really open up on Order. I mean, you can't always rely on frags, but it made a significant impact in that round because the Order just weren't ready. Those frags just came out of nowhere, and just like that, total control of site from Knights. So great job. And this is feeling like it's going to be a really, really tight and hard-fought battle.
Yeah. We wouldn't expect anything less from these 2 rosters in their current form.
Attackers need
Both
to
of them
locate
looking
and
to
defuse
kind of claim the throne of Oceania right now, as it has been left wide open with issues that have risen for the wildcard roster. And to be fair, both are putting in a decent effort, a fair shout, and I would probably look more so to Knights to be claiming that, given their form that they're holding in an international, or at least some international event in APAC South. So if
10 seconds remaining.
If Order are able to walk away with this, really the question is thrown up in the air. Who is Oceania's best team? So this is a big game, not just in respects to APAC South, but also into the top end of Oceania. Now, of course, that's only half of the equation here for APAC. And to be honest, Raven, before I move any further, Xavier are really looking to be the money in this league anyway.
Speaking of the league, I think that's what's just made me still a bit skeptical of the league in general, is they're still searching for their first win in APAC South. They did have a very close Giants, very strong opponent.
Bomb located by attackers.
But regardless, they are still searching for the club. Does kind of question a little bit about their form. This would be a great statement for them because the Knights have been in excellent form. They do have some players in the leaderboards of like top 5 of certain statistics. For example, Juicy is the 3rd highest rated player.
Attackers have located a bomb.
He also has 3rd highest KD positivity at +8 in the league. And now there's some strong players in this league, so that really does say a lot. So if Order do manage to picture this match, it will be very significant for their form and just, I think, overall perception and confidence.
Activating Selma sequence.
Couldn't agree more. Now, Specker being droned out. That's a big step in Knight's achievement in taking 90 and landing control. Really forces him back off of the line there. Heard a C4 go out. But look at this from Sage, straight through the window and into Trophy. A lot of control here for Knights as they continue to push forth. Dino has spread himself in a stat. Order, they've crumbled. The control was not enough and they were not paying attention. Push comes to shove and they may be back into this.
Attackers are activating the diffuser.
Step up for his team. He's now shot out to 5 and 3, all on the shoulders of Joker as he tries to retake it from the red stairs. Drone's coming out. Dino is very much aware. He's not going to overpeak it. Beautiful patience to reposition and bait Joker into a mistake, into
Defenders
one of the
have located the
crossfires held by
diffuser.
Knights right now. 25 seconds left on the timer. It's a big task for Joker.
Unachievable at this point. 3 players watching his every move. There's 2 choke points he has to try to get past, and it looks like Knights have got their crossfires set. Joker just walking into the open hands and open arms of Knights. They take the lead for the first time since the first round.
Big focus on below from Order again, as we saw Stat Trophy defense in round 2. Worked out well for them. Not sure whether that came down to Knights' adaptation this time around. I mean, you could say it is. It was a great read from them to see that there was 3 players below. All they had to do was quickly storm Trophy. They had that map control. 1 player playing in Stat, 1 playing in Astro. Frag those guys. It's just a matter of watching for that retake. So really good call from Knights to do that and to execute it to the level they did.
The thing is, it's not the first time either, you know? You see Sage just absolutely storm into Trophy there. It allows Dino to push from landing into Stat and continue that pressure from both sides. But we saw it little less than 2 rounds ago in the kitchen defense. Just when they're ready to go, there's something that is terrifying. When Knights make that decision, it's like ants just swarming over their own prey, and to be honest, there's not too much that Order have really been able to throw at them when they decide to go, when they make that right call. There's been no question, no doubt in our minds that Knights have deserved that round. So now we're looking at a 2-4-3-3 half for Order. I don't know, are they going to be happy with that? I really don't think so.
I don't think so, especially not for Order defense. The form that we were seeing from Order in rounds 2 and 3 with the ones that they did win, it felt like they were going to start to run away with the half, and we would see a relatively classic affair of a 4-2. But no, a 3-3 I think would not be a good position or a position that Order would be happy with. But look, Matic, I'm seeing a pretty big change up here for Knights. They've dropped the ace, they're bringing the Monty. Juicy on the Monty.
They've really got Joker to deal with that, so hopefully Joker, or at least the entirety of Order, can find very early information in terms of where that Monty is, or if they even have the Monty in the first place, because you do not want to be using those smoke babes early when we know that Juicy will enable a lot of those pushes to come in. They've also as well got 3 C4s to work with, but gotta hope here that as they take that first floor control, Knights have really done a great job at getting this early, Raven. And without any information, the first smoke babe comes out. Not the greatest sign here.
No, that was a bit of a botched nade though there. Not cooked quite to perfection from Hayward.
A bomb has been
but something that's big is not so sure Order really know about the Monty, but doesn't matter. Cutie sure knows that he's dead.
Oh,
Cutie
wow.
has the double, and just like that, this Knights attack really feels like it's fallen apart.
How did Cutie manage to find that? Surely Juicy would have been protected in that instance, but now it's just onto Dino and Hayward. Granted, it is only 2 players, probably the 2 players you least want to see, regardless of what Hayward's KD is showing right now. This is dangerous signs from Order. You love to see it. I have no idea how he's even been able to find that pick, but regardless, it's pretty much crumbled before we even hit halfway through this round. Just insane to think.
So true, and the Knights, they're just deciding they're going to funnel through this study door. There is a lot of players focused in. They know exactly where they are. Now spotted by the shield player at the top of the brown stairs, the top of the main stairs. So Hayward and Dino have really tough task ahead of them, as Joker's going to get Hayward. Probably going to be a flawless round here, Manic. It's all on Dino. He's low HP, and that's it.
Wow.
Flawless round for Order to close out half number 1.
That's insane. On the back of the 2 rounds that we've just seen from Knights, they looked so confident. Will we look back and question the Monty pick? It looked like things were going well for Knights there. They could have finished that with a 4-2 half if they'd continued to do what they were really achieving. So, you know, it's easy to sit back in hindsight and say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But it's never that easy to really make that call, and a big call at that for Juicy. And it has been punished. So now Order looking to get back into this one. It's basically a clean slate here for the second half.
Yeah, we'll really never know what Juicy
Defenders,
was
protect your
planning
bombs
to
from
do with
being
that
used
Monty.
by
I
attackers.
don't think it ever eventuated. And that's the thing is, like, I don't know whether you could say it didn't work out for them because he didn't even get in study balcony. I'm honestly, really confused how he didn't survive that engagement. Maybe he tried to get a little bit cheeky and ADS and shoot somebody. I know that can happen from time to time. But regardless, it's in the past, Manic.
Yep.
First half in the books. So Knights have really got to run this back on the defense. But it is 3-3, and as we've said so many times, it really feels like it's going to be a close matchup between these two teams, and it's delivered that already.
Certainly has a fair bout of back and forth. First round was in the hands of the Knights, 2 straight back into the hands of Order, and it's kind of just ridiculously gone back and forth, and fitting to do so as well. Did you say something then? I heard a little... Yeah, sorry, I heard a mumble.
I tried to not say it too loud because I didn't really want to cut you off, but I could not help but see that two players just did a perfectly in sync reinforcement. And I love it when that happens. It's so satisfying.
Always interrupt me if that's what it's for. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, bro. Okay.
No, please don't. So that's okay. But for now, once again, looks pretty similar for Order than what we saw from Knights. Bit of presence across to the study, and Specker, of course, just out by main double door. So nothing too different between the two as of yet in terms of their approach.
Yeah, definitely in terms of their approach, but a couple of big differences in the lineup, bringing the IQ and the Hibana. IQ is not something that the Knights brought at all, which is quite surprising because the Valkyrie was a pretty big main stick there for 4 of the attack rounds. So that IQ is certainly going to help capture those Valkyrie cameras. And then Hibana, of course, is a very versatile hard breacher these days with the changes to the X-Kairos pellets.
A bomb has been
So,
located.
yeah, there's some good versatility in this Order lineup.
At 30, and they're starting to take control of that north side as well. Juicy will be pressured, but the perfect timing of the Smoke Babe forcing back Order. And now they're going to look to re-attempt another push, but Specker this time catches the flank of Josh, and they're caught unaware. Hayward will find one, and now they're just going to floor it straight up main. No damage really taken here, and Knights really strong call to back away. They have lost control of a fair bit of utility here.
Yeah, they have. Using that main stairs position is always a very critical thing for the attack to force out. They've only given themselves about a minute with this control, though. Dino looking to be cheeky at that Aviated Zorb, but siding against it. Order are all stacked up around that classical elbow over at the top of main stairs. But where is the rest of the control going to come from? I think that's the biggest issue, is Order is all on this south side of the map. Study balcony and top of main stairs, that is it. So the Knights can spread out around 90.
And you can see they're talking of spreading out, they're doubling up here, and that's going to be a nice little peek from Josh after the attention was all on Hayward on the lower peak. Now they know that there's at least 1, maybe 2 players off site. 20 seconds left. Sage will find the opening pick. They try to push in. Joker will find a trade, but is it going to be enough in a 2 versus 3? Jack Daddy makes his way in. The C4 ripped. It's put too far past him. Makes it around the corner, but not in time. Joker 1v2. No way. There's only 1 kill to find. And he's pressured too much so. Knights managed to claw that one back. My goodness.
Yeah, got a bit close for comfort there, but really well played from the Knights, exploiting the map control they still held. And I really think that was Order's downfall in the end. When they went for their execute, the explosive pinch, it wasn't really a pinch. They just had to kind of force it from that south side. If they had just had 1 player rotate around to 90, or they had done more effort to get that 90 control, really would have been a different story, I feel. We'll never really know. I think a big part of that as well is that they only had around a minute once they got the top of main stairs, which was obviously very critical in their pathing or their attack procedure. And outside of that, it was going to take a bit of time to get 90, maybe therefore not worth it. Regardless though, The Knights have broken forward again.
Yep.
History will tell us that
Attackers
maybe
need to locate and defuse as
this is
many
probably going to go
bombs as
back
they
and
can.
we're going to get 4-4, and I would not be surprised if we go all the way to OT.
Yep, it feels like it's going to be the only fitting way to decide this bout. But one thing, you know, you're talking about that north side, well, really just the 90 control there. We did have one of the players from Order, I'm not entirely sure who it was, it looked like they were pushing from that northern side through stat, but, or rather through trophy. Whatever happened there, I have no clue. All off camera for me. A little bit too focused on the engagements over by main stairs, so... Like you said, we focus our attention here on round number 8 because Order,
5 seconds
you
left
don't want to
before
see
insertion.
Knights go 2 rounds up early on their defense.
Attackers
Although
are
it
moving out to
will
locate a bomb.
ensure that they have to go for that kitchen defense. I don't know what the stats are looking like for Knights in terms of holding it, but we'll wait and see. Like this presence from Knights though,
Unrolling
heavy emphasis across towards study just to waste a bit of time potentially.
Yeah, some really nice aggressive presence here, just to slow down this initial control from Order. Again, they look very set on taking this south side control, and maybe this is going to be a rotate away. In fact, it looks like it is. They've all dropped off. They're going to rotate towards the master bedroom. So probably a good call. Just avoid that Knight's attention. But hey, with the pulse, he is caught totally unaware that Ippistyle was pre-firing that window perfectly timed. It's going to give Order a great advantage.
Certainly will. There goes a bit of your vertical pressure. Oh, just down by the wayside. And I felt like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong there, but it felt like Ippy was, or Cutie, whoever it was spraying for a while before Hayward actually stood into that line. So that's okay. Moving forward, we can start to focus more toward Astro and Bedroom, which looks like Order have realigned their vision for this round. And not wasting too much utility over by Study will allow them to really just completely dispense of all of this utility.
Wake up. IED active.
Attackers have
Definitely could
located
be
a bomb.
spot a bother for Order to get stalled out here. These X-Carriers have been muted, so they are going to have to go below. See whether the Knights will contest it or just wait and see what happens. Speckard wasting no time to go below. He is going to be uncontested down here. The Knights are all on site. Sage, though, he's still on for a run on the south side, but he's not going to have an impact in them getting this crucial part happening. If they do get this new chamber clear, they can get some line of sight into stat that's going to compromise Dino. He's either going to have to make a play or pull away.
Just waiting now. It looks like he's going to stick to his guns here, playing very close to that single door. He may just find the timing on the swing here. Joker needs to be careful of being unaware. Jack Daddy with the foothold will be able to find Juicy, but Dino's still close here. I feel like he could really be the linchpin in this round if he goes unnoticed, if he goes undroned, but that's just completely slapping Knights around now. Sage with a quick refrag, but Raven, this should be done and dusted.
Feels like it. Joker, he's going to try and start this plant. 30 seconds on the clock as well, so plenty of time in the pocket for Order to execute this. Dino! Oh, just in the nick of time, the plant goes down. That could have been almost a different story. Jack Daddy will back it up with a double to close the round. Very close attempt from Knights in a really tough position, though.
A second in it. 1 second in it, and Dino could have made that a lot more uncomfortable for Order. Obviously, Jack Daddy finding that second kill to, you know, isolate Dino on his lonesome. That does make things incredibly hard, if not possible, so they will be reattempting stat and trophy, feeling like they know where they went wrong, and I think that it would be fair to say that we know where things went wrong. Very early losing the Poles, who would have been able to just really hold a lot of vertical control and a lot of early intel on where those players were going.
Attackers need to locate
Could have
and defuse the
completely
bomb.
swayed the round, and now we will look to see what Knight's adaptation is. Are they going to look for a little bit of study presence to begin with and then move back, or are they going to try something completely different?
To me, it feels like they've maybe assessed that as, we lost Hayward early and pretty cheap. If we can keep Hayward, it's going to be different. And I tend to agree. Very important operator in the way that the Knights are trying to hold this is going to be that pulse. So the aggressive hold on the south side is going to deter Order from even trying to enter this way. You saw them
10
rotate
seconds left
away,
before insertion.
but they really need Hayward to then be able to relocate over to the sheets and dining room and even kitchen. to be able to pulse out and get that vertical information, because then that will
Attackers are moving out to
delay
locate a
the
bomb
push
and
into master
defuse it.
as well. It'll mean Order have to go below, which they did anyway, but they were uncontested. So if Hayward knows it's happening, there can be more of a contest. So I like the call from Knights to just repeat. They've gone for the same ops. Looks like it's a pretty similar strategy. See whether it works out this time.
Now Hayward looking to maybe just kind of wait and see where they're going to be heading early on. And in my opinion, getting that early intel across in kitchen, oh, that'll be big. Hayward knows exactly where Ippy style is. That's some huge information being given. I think he may have heard the footsteps of Dino there, and it may just bring out the warning bells once again. But I really like this from Knights. This is looking really promising early on.
Yeah, very promising. And it's good for them to be able to survive. You know, I'm just quickly looking through their opening kill stats. They have lost 6 of the 8 opening engagements here.
Ooh.
And it's very crucial. I mean, you probably feel like casters talk a lot about opening kill stats. It seems to hold true. Looking at this match, 6 from 8 opening kills were followed up with a round win. So it's very crucial. And the fact that they've survived this long without a drop, oh my god, I've just cursed them, Manic. Juice is going to be the opening death, and now Knights are in that similar position.
Yeah, whereas that over by Astro Stairs, that's also juicy. The smoke going down, so a lot of that late round denial not going to have any impact. They still have at least 2 C4s on the board, and they will just look for dry contact here. Dino just showing face, will back away. This is just going from bad to worse for Knights. Order really just putting salt in the wounds here. Hayward might be able to find something special though.
Yes, he does. On that info, he acts on it. Makes it a 3 versus 3, and this is starting to look still more manageable for Knights. A couple of Order players below. They're just going to go straight up. Spectre very aggressively and confidently up the Astro Stairs. Doesn't progress further, and probably a good sign because Dino looks like he's holding a nice tight angle all the way from Stat. And really good positions held from Knights, but oh, Hayward, he is going to be kicking himself for missing that gunfight with Jack Dad.
I like this from Dino though. Push into Master. You got the chance to rotate underneath, but you also can play a little bit more aggressively here and try to take a couple of gunfights in a very similar position to what we saw before. Sage, the timing is unbelievable there. 20 seconds left. It looks like Astro is going to be a fair point of contention. Sage will win this as well. No, he won't. Joker, he somehow finds that kill, and now they know the position of Dino, but is it too little too late, Raven? It's come down to 10 seconds. Dino, if he wins these ones here, it's all on, because now Joker, he's going to have to stick this plan or go aggressive, and that's it. That should be the round done. Dino comes back in, and the free kill will be converted. Knights bring that back from a 3 versus 5.
Great effort from the Knights to bring that back, and they just played some really nice structured patient siege, in fact, and it could have been even more comfortable. I'm still gobsmacked that Hayward lost his gunfight with the IQ down in the red hallway or the red stairs. You could blame the UMP if you want to, probably a safe blame, but regardless, I think the Knights dug deep on that round, and that was a good round to win. You know, those ones feel great for morale. They can really help elevate the team, and it's going to be important because I'm just looking through round history again. We have never had more than 1 round separate these teams in this match. So if the Knights manage to get this one, it'll be the first time we actually have that 2-round buffer. And just, you know, given that match history, I feel like that is a really big deal.
Yep. Would agree, and you know, it's crazy to see how close this has actually been. Order in that one, I mean, you definitely would pick them to walk away with that round. Nevertheless, they now have to back it up here. And you love to see that from Knights. You know, they go back to Stat, even though they still falter on the first hurdle of the opening pick. They clean it up, tidy it up. And all the pressure here for Order, because this will push Knights to map point. I think the fortunate thing is Knights will have to go to Kitchen should they win it here, so it should still remain an opportunity for Order to take us to overtime, but you just don't want to get to that situation.
And you really don't. I'm going to give a massive shout out to my man Dino here, because I was ragging on him after 3 rounds. No successful kills. It really felt like Knights were on the back foot. Since then, he's stepped it up. He's now the kill leader for the Knights out of 9 on 6, I think it was, for the death count. Yeah, there we go, 9 and 6. So he's been very consistent since round 3. And it has lifted the Knights. They have had 4 round wins to only 2 round losses since Dino has really emerged and entered into the game. So that really shows the influence of him being up and firing and how that can affect the Knights' performance.
Now, you'll see Haywood playing a little bit deeper in stat as well. How's that? Oh my goodness. That's unfortunate for Cutie. Sage could have been punished, not to be. The magnet saves the life, and Haywood's going to stay aggressive here. So Order need to be aware on this sweep from that northern side, from that stat pressure, that there are still 2 players looking for a cheeky engagement. But once again, it feels like Knights just have this timing picked. They fall away at just the right moment. A minute 30 left, and now Order have so much work they need to do.
Yeah, it really was a great delay on that extended roam from the Knights. Haywood did lose a lot of his HP for it, but it was good pressure and has slowed the Order down in their progress. And they continue to just poke and poke, but they have only just now progressed towards this south side. They can try and take 9 control, all that kind of jazz, but they're not going to have a whole lot of time. And that's going to potentially come back to bite Order unless they get a couple of picks to give themselves a man count so that that burst through the site can be more comfortable. I think that's what is going to be needed, but yeah, Knights have put themselves in a really good spot for this round.
3 smoke babes left, and there's no C4 to deny that plan on the backside, but they still have study control. They still have a lot of what they need here for Knights. Dino now going to be pressed a little bit. Does he fall away? Does he stay? If he falls back, they're going to be watching from Skull. If he stays, well, he might have to deal with this engagement. He hears the footsteps here. That should be the kill, and it is. Dino opening up the round. Cutie not aware of his position, in an advanced position at that. And Juicy can sit back and hold. Raven, 30 seconds. This is not looking good at all for Order.
It's definitely going to be tough for Order, and now they're just going to have to go for this funnel. It's a bit of a split funnel, and Jack Daddy does get one for Order back. So 4 versus 4 as Ippy backs it up. It's going to be trades. But again, Manic, the time is working against them, even with these advantages coming through. It's going to be tough, and the Knights are just stepping up here. It's Ippy. He's found himself a 1v1, and he gets it, Manic. Order out of nowhere. They get that round.
Wow, I thought 100% Juicy had been the savior for Knights there. I thought that that was everything that they needed, but it wasn't. It just wasn't enough. And in a twist of events, Order somehow claw that round from the hands. They pry it from underneath Knights' fingernails. And you can be thanking Ippy for a huge moment in this, well, I would say a Clash of the Titans.
Very much that way. And again, it still feels like we're just barreling towards overtime right now. It's so hard to get these guys to be separated on the scoreboard in the round count.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
It's a very exciting matchup so far. And look, I felt like I haven't looked at the Order scoreboard enough, and I'm just noticing that Ippy out there on 11 and 6, doing a pretty good job for his team. And Jack Dad not too far behind, 10 and 7. I feel like Jack Dad's almost been a bit more of a quieter achiever throughout this match. You know, like he hasn't had particularly big outbursts of kills or any flashy kills. He's just been very steady.
Yep. So slow and steady wins the race, I guess. Definitely don't need to, you know, to highlight any outwardly incredible plays if you're just chipping away, if you're doing what you need to do in round to round.
5 seconds remaining.
And I think you got to be pretty happy with that. So now we come down to it, Raven. We are going the full distance. We have to see out full regulation here. And we may even see a little bit more there. So a bit of drone hunting finds them too.
A bomb has been
And
located.
that actually enables Knights to push a little bit more aggressively across in sheets and take more of that northern side control. He's not even in sheets. Dino, you cheeky.
He's actually even further down. He's just playing in that basement. You know, that's often a really big piece about Villa is that, you know, that basement, you don't usually drone it. You'll kind of set drones up in the prep phase and early round to watch the stairwells that go below, just to see if someone rotates down. But it can easily be missed. So if Order have missed that, Dino really does have a great opportunity. And Juicy just missed a good opportunity for Knights. And again, Becca getting a double on entry. Knights are just constantly losing these opening engagements.
Oh, this is just gnarly from Specker. How on earth do you do that? Now what we've got to consider is the fact that Knights are all off site. Oh no, sorry, they have rotated extremely quickly in this instance. And it's exactly what we needed to see from them. Hayward still below as well. I love this from Dino. Try to find something a little cheeky. It doesn't pan out. But that could have been a double kill. Specker gets pushed from the side as well. And Josh, he gives Knights something to work with in this round. This is incredible. I'm loving this from Knights. I don't care whether it works or not. They've taken the fight to Order. They have not sat back and kind of played into their own faith. They've tried to make their own future. And it just doesn't pan out. Unfortunate with the shots.
Yeah, no, it didn't pan out at all, and just a really solid entry again from Order. It is really affecting the Knights in this game. They're constantly battling from man disadvantages. So the fact they've been able to keep in it is a real credit to them adapting in that mid-round in those disadvantaged situations. But full credit to Order, their entries have been very effective this entire matchup.
Where to now for Knights? I can only presume it's a Knights tactical timeout, which it is. We've just had confirmation, and it's exactly where we would expect this to come. It's down to the wire. Now, this is a huge moment in APAC South League. Not only would Order be delivering Knights their first L, but they'd also be taking the whole 3 points away. And that is a huge step up from where Knights were last week. This can't be understated for that roster. They need these 3 points. They can't let this go to OT and just be satisfied with 2 or 1. Whereas Knights, that's all they have to play for.
Yeah, I think it's such a good point, Manic, is the Knights, 3 points for them in this matchup. It's now not an option. They have lost that ability or that chance to secure those points. So now it's about, can they salvage 1 or still 2? Of course, they can still go on to win this match, but they're not going to be able to get full points. But Order, they are hunting for their first win. It has been not the greatest start for them for APAC South. Although they did have a great match against Giants, they didn't secure the dub. So they're in a great position to get their first win, and if it is the case, they get the 3 points. I think they'll be pretty happy with themselves.
Yeah. It'll just inch them. I think it'll just give them the confidence that they need. Cracking that little. What would you say? Cracking the nugget. I feel. Cracking the omelet, cracking the egg to make the omelet. There we go. We found it. It took me a little bit, but we got. Well, maybe you could crack the nugget and dip it in some tomato sauce, but it definitely would get that monkey off of Order's back, which just seems to have sat there for so long. And now putting their attention onto Knights here. Seeing this all too familiar, they are going to be looking for the presence across on the southern side of the map and just delay as much as they can. Last time it worked a treat, so all eyes are on Knights.
Now, of their defenses, though, I feel like Stat Trophy has felt the sketchiest. They lost it the first attempt. Dino got a 1v2 clutch on the second attempt, so really still could have been Orders. Hasn't looked particularly confident, but I mean, they've just lost Aviator games twice in a row. Probably not going to repeat that either. So this defense half has just been very rough for the Knights. They've managed to hang in there. I am concerned for them on this one, just given that it has not been a convincing performance defending the bomb site.
Not even slightly. Not in the way that we would expect, not in the way that we would hope. So just I'm still baffled as to how many openings Order have really been able to take away here. Only 3 opening kills have gone the way of Knights. That in itself is quite damning. The fact that it's still so close in round 12, insane. Nice and early on there, though. They do put the pressure on site. Maybe, I believe, they've taken away the mute jammer there. We'll wait and see.
Order do have some very comfortable control of the lower floor, so that does mean that they can utilize vertical pressure into all these Knights positions. They have cleared that off, Manic, so you're right, that wall is totally breachable right now, and this is even better time management than what we've seen from Order attacking the site. So, man, the Knights really are just getting into tougher and tougher positions, and this is going to be Orders to take, I've got to say. Like, it feels like they are there ready to take this win, and I just have to secure this round.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Well, my big question right now is where are the rest of Knights? There you go. You got Josh at the top of red. You got one player all the way back by 90, which is Sage. That's very quick rotates on the side here, should they need to bolster down. Huge pick from Cutie. There is a lot of the intel gone for the board of Knights, and they're going to have to try to bring this back and potentially winning their ones, Raven. This is going to be big. Dino steps into the fray and falls away just in time.
Yeah, he's trying to get aggressive. He's really trying to make something happen for his team here. The Knights are still in some good positions. Gonna get aggressive, but it's Joker that comes out on top. Manic. 20 seconds are Order gonna get their first win in APAC South.
Oh, it looks like it. Juicy goes down. Sage. This could be it. Then he crumbles as well. Josh steps into stat. He'll find
10
one.
seconds to go.
We've seen this all too soon.
5
No, Josh. What's the call here? Ippy style looking for the corner. Oh, the C4! No way!
Operators, you are out of
Josh hits the C4 over the balcony. See you later, and we are going to OT.
Oh, unbelievable, Manic. I was so sure Order had that. I was so caught up in the moment, I didn't see Josh had the C4 in the pocket. Really well played from him, honestly. He didn't try and force anything too early in that little 1v2 situation. He waited it out. Just so well played from him. And that's just, again, another round in this defense half of the Knights where they have scraped through. And they've brought it to overtime, so they've at least gotten themselves 1 point out of this. And Order, again, they've gone into OT. They've got to hang on here, because I feel like this has really been their match, Manic. Honest, that second half, that felt like an Order half. They just failed to convert those rounds.
And see, this is where the doubt starts to seep in for Order. We've seen them in this position in overtime 4 times in the past 2 weeks. And from my knowledge, they have only won one of those instances. They've only come away with the dub only once out of all 4 times. This is getting extremely close. The good thing for Knights right now, for Order right now, is the one that they were able to walk away with was, in fact, the game against Knights only a couple of days ago. So maybe this is worse for Knights here. Regardless, that's a big clutch for Josh.
Attackers are moving out
Massive
to locate
clutch.
a bomb and defuse it.
And massive decision here. The Knights are going to go to kitchen dining. They have not played it yet. They played that whole defense half without touching this site. On top of that, they're bringing in a pretty versatile, pretty broad operator lineup here with the Goyo, Aruni, and the Lucy in particular I want to highlight. I think it's a really good play because, you know, we've talked about Order's playstyle. It has an essence of structure, but really they're very intuitive and opportunity-based players, right? They really just look for opportunities and they take those. And sometimes that can just make it a bit tricky when there's these, you know, out there strats to deal with. I mean, it's not like what Knights are doing is super out there, but it's very different to the entire half they just played.
Now, as the dust starts to settle, who has it?
Attackers dropped.
Who has it in them to back up
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
this matchup after 12 rounds? 12 closely contested rounds. Itby style right now on 16 kills. Unbelievable. Joker nearly falls there. That is the hard breacher. It would have caused a little bit of issues for Knights. For Order. That's not to be just yet. Minute 30. Not a lot of action has actually taken place.
This is kind of what I was saying earlier, Manic, is I feel like Order have taken a lot of time to really assess and figure out what is going on. And that works just so well for the Knights because, of course, they know what's going on. And they've been able to adapt to the way Order have been attacking this entire map. Whereas this is a whole different kettle of fish. That's good info from Joker, so maybe Order can try and take this vertical control, but they are taking a long time to do so. So even if they get this in, it's going to be a tough execute.
Awkward position for Hayward to be in now. He has to pretty much stick there unless they've got the rotate. Speka taking a little bit of damage through the Aruni gate. But look at this, 50 seconds and just Order really not being able to find that pick, find that opening. As I say that, it's a quick trade back and forth. How you like it? 4v4 with the IQ and the Aruni down.
Yeah, it's definitely going to favour the defense still. And, you know, 3 Order players in low HP, but Ipistyle again has stepped up and got a pick for his team. It's going to make it more comfortable. 3v2 now, though, Manic in 20 seconds.
Josh coming in on that right angle. Joker manages to hold his line. They know where Dino is, stuck in kitchen, and Speka manages to catch him out. Straight through China, and see you later. That is going to be map point Order. And potentially 2 points on the board here when it's all said and done.
Very, very big from Order on that round. I just felt like the Knights had that in the pocket. They had delayed that attack so well, and they just couldn't withstand the onslaught of that final 20 seconds. Order again just proving to be too strong with their team attack or their team execute. The fragging in particular, Ipistyle has just won so many of his gunfights tonight, and it's got Order into this position of match point.
Would they have had a better opportunity in AVG or Stat Trophy, do you think?
Look, I'm going to back Knights. I think that was a great call. It seems like what they wanted to happen happened for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds of that round.
Yeah.
Just the rest fell apart.
So kind of like the pivotal moment of a round, you know?
Yeah, probably you could say maybe the more important part, but
no, that's okay.
Every part of a round is very critical.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is you have to succeed in basically every part of the round, and that's just not what happened.
That's the thing, right? In all the phases that there are in rounds, you know, early, middle, and late, can't really afford to make too many mistakes. It's just the nature of the beast there. Oh, Dino, you're going to be chased there, surely. There you go. So, only the one drone in the prep phase taken away, and Order not really looking to dismiss any of that kind of intel thus far anyway. And we are going to see a little bit of presence from Ipistyle across into Stat Trophy. So, at least a little bit of presence here.
A little bit, and Order reprising pretty much exactly how they were playing it back in their defense half, which, if you can cast your mind back, was quite a while ago. It was the first half, and looking at Aviator games, it was played 3 times by Order. Lost once, won twice, and the loss was literally round 1. So sometimes you can shake that off as, you know, the first round jitters or just a bit of a hard start.
Yep.
So I think odds are in favor of Order right now to be able to take this. This is really the onus on Knights to figure out what they need to do and adapt.
Cutie taking a little bit of damage early on there. Joker nearly flushed away from the angle. In they come up the staircase. No, Joker's going to hold strong, but he will be retraded. Sage is playing unbelievable tonight. In the big moments, he is stepping up. And now they're going to have to retake 90, retake long, but this is crumbled for Order. And Knights are primed to take this.
They are, you know, Cutie down, Speka, Ipistyle, both low HP, or Ipistyle's at least half. Going to be their best option. He overlooks the player at desk. In fact, probably couldn't even see him. And the Knights, it's just a matter of time for this round. That's Ipistyle gone. Speka, he's on like 2 HP in a dream right now, trying to hold from 90. It's going to be very tough.
It's a crazy dream. Stranger things have happened, but not this time. Knights convincingly take that round. What an entry from Sage. I thought potentially whoever was on the smoke then might have done enough to just hold main stairs, but it's not to be. Knights go to their defense, and Order, it's up in the air right now. It's coming down to the wire. Round 15 to decide our victor here in the Clash of the Titans for Oceania.
Scary prospect, honestly, if I'm the Knights, because their defense half, going back to it, like, man, it really wasn't that great. I'm looking back at this. They played Aviator Games and Stat Trophy 3 times apiece. Now, they won Stat Trophy twice, lost it once. Both of those wins were clutches, though. 1v2 clutches. So,
Defenders,
really
protect
not
your
convincing.
bombs.
Aviator Games,
By
Order
attackers.
won twice. So, Order should be very comfortable at attacking this. The time that Knights did win it, it was the first round of the defense half. So, I don't know, man. I'm still definitely concerned for Knights, but they did a great job in that previous round of that attack. The Aviator Games attack in that last round was fantastic from the Knights.
It's actually one thing I didn't really take into consideration as much. You might have said it, but maybe I was off with the stars. I honestly had not even taken into consideration the fact that Knights, the
10
only
seconds to go.
2 rounds that they were really able to clutch out and stat were clutches. That was it. They weren't clean rounds necessarily when we look at it as a whole,
Attackers'
but
objective is to locate a bomb.
I guess that doesn't really matter at the end of the day. However you win those rounds, you win them. AVG may be giving the promise for Order that they may need here to drop this in overtime after having such a strong lead in that last round of the half. That would be deadly. Oh,
My
no.
god. Speaking of deadly, that drone hole has proven deadly to Hayward. Cutie, of course, he is going to be the one to find those. It's such a cutie thing to do, but this is just, again, another situation. Hayward, he has had a shocker. He is 5-14. He has been a lot of these opening deaths. I'm looking at our tracker. I'm not going to count them, but there is a lot of Haywards in the red zone there.
Yeah.
And that's it's not great. And I think, look, if Order managed to come out with this win, great, they've got the win. But at this stage, I really, it felt like they should have had this in regular time. The Knights have just been able to hang in there. And I still wouldn't count the Knights out. Look, Josh is still looking to make a big play.
Looking, but it's really only window shopping at this point. No chance for the opening kill they would have hoped for here. There are 2 players at the top of the stairs here. Specker, there comes in the ping. Just needing to be cautious of that swing from Juicy. It's not going to happen. Minute 30, and he's been forced to use 2 of the 3 smoke babes. He could get really nice timing here. Are they going to expect him so close? It's just a misfit. No! How has Specker lost that? In comes the next smoke. This is huge from Juicy, but he will not be able to hit the shot with a shotgun. And now they lose control. The top of main. And there's 4 players left alive with a minute 10 on the board here. Order have done phenomenally.
They've done a really good job. Josh still a little bit elusive over on the north side. And it's really just going to be about how Order get this execute. Sage, that's a big pick if you style the impact player for Order. He is now out for the rest of this match.
Both Specker and Ippy style, in fact. Been multiple times now. We've seen some pretty big rounds. Like you said, what is Josh going to do? What's his impact in this round? How dangerous is he going to look on that flank? It looks like he may be coming up red. Nade should potentially flush him out. And that will be Cutie opening it up. They're going to explode on the side here. And now it's all down to Dino and Josh. Both of these players have come up massively for Knights. They're going to have to do it again. Jack Daddy can't win the 1. And Joker now in a 1 versus 2. Dino coming from behind. And this is not looking all that great. They've spotted him out, Joker. How much information does he have? Not enough. It is going to be Knights taking this map in overtime. Round 15. It is a huge win for them as they confirm the 8-7.
Bomb defusing attempt failed.
Absolutely massive
Defenders
win.
win.
Cannot understate that enough or overstate that enough. Whichever it is, I am gobsmacked. The Knights brought that back. Order looked sharp, but the Knights adapted so well to take the 8-7. They still deny Order a victory in APAC South.
Well, they deny Order the victory. They do not, however, deny them the point. They will be walking away with 1 of 3. And just look at how close that game was contested there. If you were to ask me, realistically, that was Order's game for so long there. They looked so confident. But just at the last grasp, Knights pull it out of the pocket and they take the 2.